guys, it's Scott Garlis at Stansberry Research. I'm here at the 2018 Stansberry Vegas Conference. I'm here with Steve Forbes, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of Forbes Media. Mr. Forbes.
Good to be here, Scott. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. A couple of questions for you. The first, what would be your single most important piece of advice for investors?
Realize emotions are your enemy. Everyone says they're a disciplined long-term investor until the market goes down, and then it becomes, is it too late to get out? So realize, put your emotions aside. So if you feel bad, probably a good time to invest. If you feel good, probably a good time to take a second look.
Great piece of advice. What keeps you up at night?
Aside from late night baseball or football, I think just worrying about what's coming next on the business side. You know, we live in an era with such fast change. There's a good saying that you can eat well or sleep well, but not both. The eating side I have no problem with, but sleep side, if you got responsibilities, sometimes you're going to have a sleepless night.
Yeah, well, there are some nights I'm lucky if I get 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I understand. When did you know you were going to be successful?
The realization that success is not permanent. My father liked to say, if you think you've arrived, you're ready to be shown the door. We live in a fast-changing economy. People's preferences change. You may be doing things perfectly right, but their preferences change. You got to adjust with it. We are hit hard, very hard, by the rise of the internet, high technology in terms of print. What we always remembered, ask ourselves what our purpose is. My grandfather in the first issue of Forbes said the purpose of business is to produce happiness, not to pile up money. So we've believed in what we now call entrepreneurial capitalism for over a century, and that's what guides us.
Wise words.
Thank you.
Do you expect a rapid market rally at the end of this bull run?
I think that the fact that people are questioning this market is a bullish sign, climbing the proverbial walls of worry. And we should not forget, the market is now 10 years old, more than 10 years old, this bull market, almost 10 years, began in March of 2009. But we've had plenty of downward hits, 2011, 2012, early last year. So we've had plenty of ups and downs, but what economists call the trend line has been up. The key thing is make sure we don't do something crazy on trade or on the regulatory or tax side. We continue to remove barriers to people moving ahead, and they will move ahead, and so will the market.
I'm a big fan of contrarian investing, and I know a lot of the stuff I read, institutional investors have high cash levels, which tells me their conviction isn't there and plays right into what you were just saying, that simply when they have too much cash on the sidelines, the worst thing that can happen is for the market to go higher. And it certainly feels like that's the setup. So why do you think most investors have been on the sidelines during this rally?
I think a lot of individual investors were so scarred by the magnitude and the rapidity of the bull market of bear market of 2000, late 2007, right through March of 2009, where almost overnight, 50, 60% of your assets went away, probably even more. The 401k joke was a 101k. Don't look online. Don't open your mail. And I think people thought, can't go through with that, can't sleep with that. And that's why, certainly for your retirement account, you should just put emotions aside, put a certain amount in, go for low-fee investing, and ride the thing out. Because it's true. This country always, may take a while, but always comes back.
Well said. Does the Fed's current policy path scare you?
What the Fed is doing now doesn't scare me in the sense they're finally letting interest rates reach a natural level. What I really worry about is they'll start manipulating interest rates with an eye to slowing the economy down. They have this strange theory that we can get too prosperous, that we overheat. You know, you get a raise in pay. Oh, my temperature goes up to 102 when I get a pay raise. I'm overheating. Take it away. It's preposterous. Economies may go through cycles, but let it go through. We have plenty of safety nets in place. But for the idea that a handful of people in Washington can know what 330 million people in this country are going to do, 7 billion around the world might do, is preposterous. Step back, leave it alone. So when I hear the word overheating, I start to get overheated.
Well said. And why do you think the government is so resistant to a flat tax?
The government is resistant to a flat tax because it's complexity is a source of power. When you have a complex tax code, everyone has to come to you, check in hand for access, say, please don't do this or please do that. It's a great vote winner. They take $1 out of your pocket, promise 50 cents and give it back for this deduction or that deduction. Oh, they're so nice, they're going to give me something, freebies. No, you've paid for it, but they just don't want you to know it. And it's a moral issue. The amount of brain power, literally, the hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars we've spent in the last 20 years on complying with this monstrous tax code, corrupt tax code, brings out the worst in us. Think if that had been used productively, how much we all would have been better. Even politicians would have had a better life, but they don't see it that way.
Interesting. And then lastly, did you ever think we'd see $1 trillion stock, let alone two?
I think the numbers are mind-boggling. I remember growing up when $1 million, a millionaire was a big deal. Now a billionaire is. I don't know what comes next, a zillionaire. But the key thing is not just having a company that may be valued at $1 trillion, is creating an environment where we get a lot of $trillion-dollar companies.
That's something to think about. Sure. Thank you very much for your time.
Appreciate it.
Please stay tuned for further updates. Thanks. If you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to press that like button. Comment down below, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, please. And remember to click that bell to be sure you don't miss out on our newest updates. Stay tuned for more updates from our Vegas conference.